removing the door panel from the Prius plug-in or regular Prius. I'm not sure about the C or V, but those could very well be similar. You start out with the doors open as far as you can, so you have more leverage to work with. Here I'm using a flathead screwdriver to remove the cover for the first screw near the door latch. Once you unscrew that, there's going to be a second screw inside the handle. We'll show you in a little bit. You need the bare minimum, a screwdriver, and if possible, a nylon door panel removal tool, which helps in leveraging the retention clips without stressing them out. As you can see, I can just pull off the panels without needing the tool. Note that over time, it'll put stress on the clips since they are designed to be installed once in theory. There you can see the second screw inside of the door handle. Just need to grab that screw out of there so I don't lose it. Place those both to the side. And here I'm just going to pull the panel starting from the inside of the door and using a flathead screwdriver just to get a little lip up, and I'll just pop open the retouching clips. There goes one, second. There's about 3 on each side and 2 on the bottom, and I'm just going to lift all the retention clips out. Once you have all of them out, you just pull up on the door panel and don't fully remove it yet. You still have to undo some of the wiring. So we'll move the camera around, and you can see inside there's some stuff to be removed. First thing to remove is the door latch and door unlock cables. You pull that out and you unlatch the ball, and that's the second one. And there's one electrical connection here, which goes to the tweeter, and another connection down there, which goes to the window up and down switch. And there you go. Now you can remove the door panel completely. And there you have the inside of the door. And I'm just going to set the door on the inside of the car for now. Now that we have the door panel removed, we're going to remove this weather seal, this plastic sheet. And it is attached with the same similar material to the soundproofing material of the Dynamat Extreme. Some sort of rubber compound. It's pretty sticky. It'd be better to wear gloves because it does kind of stain your skin, and it's kind of a pain, as you can see, to get off. It doesn't have to be perfect since I'm going to go over this with Dynamat Extreme with that rubber compound anyway, so I'm going to make a mess later, so don't have to really be clean right now. Removing some of the electrical connectors, feeding the cable through the plastic seal, and you can actually do a much easier method and just cut around the wires. I felt that pulling the weather seal off, it would help pull the rubber compound off as well. But you can very well use scissors to cut all around the plastic and easily remove it that way as well. And here you have to remove this, especially if you're doing the outer skin. You're mainly removing it so you can get the seal off, so you can access the inner skin later. And we'll leave it off so I can do the outer skin as well, then I'll put it back on. And it's just a Phillips screwdriver as well for both those screws. And here you can see there's a bunch of little connections everywhere, and you could cheat and just use some scissors to cut through it. And just be very, very careful not to cut any of these wires. You don't want to create extra work for yourself rewiring these items. I'm just using network snips used for cabling. Got most of the plastic off, not too bad. Now just need to yank off a little bit of what's left. You can get an idea how big the hole is for the lower portion there, that you're going to need a pretty large piece of either screening material or perforated aluminum in order to fill in the hole properly. It's pretty sizable. It'll be good to get like a bulk amount of screen material, perforated aluminum, of course having the tools necessary to cut these out. This is of course optional, mainly if you're doing the outer skin soundproofing. And maybe also getting a couple little pieces of the screen material, perforated aluminum, to go over the smaller holes as well, just to help support the soundproofing material. For the next step, don't recommend you take until you find out what the piece of styrofoam does, but what I'm going to do is actually just remove it completely from the door panel, and I'm sure someone will comment or let me know later what it's meant for. But my plan was to install soundproofing material behind it with a 1/2-inch Dynaliner. And the problem with that is the Dynaliner is pretty thick, so styrofoam wouldn't fit. Here you can see I'm just using a light solvent with alcohol. It's about 50-50 alcohol and water, and going over the back with a lint-free towel. And this is just to clear up some dirt or grease, oil, and whatnot that's collected over, even though it's a brand new car, over the short period that I've owned it. That way the Dynamat fits on there really well. This is a quick look at a Dynamat install for a 2012 Prius plug-in. This is the passenger right door. Just wanted to show you the outer skin. The inner skin has already been done and lined with Dynamat Extreme. On top of that, Dynamat liner. And what I did was just took one big piece of Dynamat Extreme for the top half, and then very small portion, you could see the line right about there for the bottom half. Made the holes for the door panel clips, the retouching clips, and then just went around the general areas. These clips, all it takes, a tip here, you put the Dynamat over it, and I just marked where it was and just used a screwdriver and just poked right through, no special cuts. And then right here I used some wire loom to cover up the door unlock and door handle, and I cut around the door panel screw, the mount screw, and same thing with this, just marked it, poked a hole with the screwdriver, went around this wire. So it has all the default mounting points retained. Right here got a little weird the way I was putting it over, so I just went over this part of the cable. Couldn't do a perfect job here because there's a mounting point there and there. Also over the large areas with holes, I put screen material. You can use like perforated aluminum to put over the panels, screw it down, or these I just had floating because the aluminum is so light. That way it gives it some sort of a backing. I would recommend perforated aluminum and screwing it on there as the most ideal setup. And then of course just went around the speaker. Installed Dynamat Extreme and Dynapad over it. Just did a straight cut off the roll to get a rectangular shape piece and lay it flat underneath the carpet pad. There are some styrofoam pieces that can be removed or reshaped and used for the original form to the OEM carpet. You can see I just laid it flat. It goes over the rear AC vents there. And it removed the original carpet pad that was underneath there and left out the styrofoam. You can see here the driver's side cowl where the screw goes in. There's some Dynamat Extreme back there, of course, but I need to cut out a hole for the screw later on so I can reinstall the driver's side cowl. And you can see a little bit of Dynamat Extreme on the vertical wall there, and how the Dynapad just lays down right next to it. And this is what I did for the driver and passenger side.